Hey, thanks for stopping by the channel. It's good to have you visit, and we're going to take a look today at none other than the torso, the core, the leader of the Protectobots, the main body of Defensor. This is Combiner Wars Protectobot Hotspot. Okay, welcome back to the channel, folks. It's good to see the YouTube fans, the TF fans, and everyone in the audience. I'm going to start this guy out exactly like he comes in a package, to be honest with you, because when you first take him in a package, he doesn't seem like he's that good of a figure, but truthfully, he's really great. Why am I starting him off the way you take him in a package? Because he is mistransformed in package. When you take him out, put his arm up. When you take this guy out of package, you're going to say, hey, look at this, he looks good, and you're going to do this. And you're going to say, oh no, look how terrible his knee is. That's not the way a knee should look. I want to bend it, and yeah, okay, you get deep, but I mean, his knee is down in his calf. That's not right. And it's not right. He is mistransformed. There are two hinges in here, and I don't know, maybe you can see both of them. These hinges need to be positioned in such a way that they're actually horizontal to each other. Right now they're vertical. One hinge is on top of the other. That's not how they need to be. They need to be horizontal to each other. When they're horizontal to each other, which can be a bit tricky to do, but when they're horizontal to each other, I find the easiest way to do it is to put your thumb right in by the first hinge and then angle it back. Then you can push it in. Did you hear that click? Once you hear that click, look, his knee is up. And you might say, why is he mistransformed like that? You know, if I put his leg down now, you can see that, you know, there's a height difference. Minimal height difference, but a height difference nonetheless. He's transformed like that, he's mistransformed like that, that hinge exists like that, you know, again, the knee issue is over here. That hinge exists like that because you need it for torso mode later on. And again, we do the same thing. I'll take his leg out to the side. You put your finger right in on the inner hinge. You angle the top one back so that it's horizontal. Both hinges now, instead of one being on top of the other, they're now facing this way. And boom, you put it in. And guess what? This knee now works just fine, locked in beautifully. So, now that that is taken care of, and he is correctly transformed, how does this guy stack up? What do we think of him? Is he any good? Is he not? He's great. Let's look at the paint apps first. I know that the Unite Warriors version has blue down the center of the chest. It does not have an Autobot logo, though I love the Autobot logo that's there. I know it's a richer blue in the Unite Warriors version, though I kind of like this sort of a powder blue, I guess. I'm not sure how it comes across on camera, but it's sort of a powder blue. I love the silver and red details up here and out here on his leg. You know, in fire engine mode, I love the fire rescue paint that's put there. I can't quite give him a 10 because, yeah, it's not quite animation accurate. The Unite Warriors version hits on that just a little bit more. But you know what? He's going to get a 9.5 for paint apps because they're great in all modes. I love him as a torso. I think it looks fantastic. So yeah, 9.5, great start. Posability, playability. When he is a fire engine, he rolls beautifully. Even though he looks a little weird, but he rolls beautifully. As a torso, his head kind of pegs in, or I should say Defensor's head kind of pegs in, but it can come loose. The chest piece, because it's a soft plastic, kind of comes off from his shoulders a little bit. Nothing, you know, nothing major. It's no shoulder issue like with Motor Master for Menasor. It's just a little bit of unpegging that, you know, just means you need to peg something back in. It's no big deal. And for me, This thigh over here, well, once this leg becomes a thigh for Defensor, it doesn't quite notch in the way it's supposed to. I don't think that's a problem with the mold. I think that's just my version of it. I happen to get a little bit of a weak leg, weak thigh. It happens. In this mode, robot mode, head goes left and right and looks up and down. The shoulders can go all the way around 360 on beautiful ratchet. That's not too tight either. The arms can go all the way out. There's a deep, deep elbow bend. It can actually, if I take the guns out, and I'll get to the guns in a minute, it can go all the way up. Now this is really for part of the torso transformation, but look at the elbow bend. You couldn't ask for anything more. You get a swivel. There's no wrist articulation. There's nothing at the waist because of transformation. The legs ratchet all the way out to the side like this. They ratchet forward, they ratchet back, except they get hindered by this back kibble. I already talked about the knees, and you get a super deep knee bend even when you have it transformed correctly. I mean, way past 90 degrees, and nothing at the feet. Some people have complained about the kibble on the back, but you know what? His animation model had kibble on the back, so I don't mind it on him. It's the way he was. Plus, you can put him in some dynamic poses, because this kind of works as a third leg if you wanted to. If you... There you go. I mean, there's a nice pose. We have these two guns. They're molded pretty much exactly the same. This one has a little nub at the end of it here that this one does not have. Why is that? Well, because you can take both of them and look at that. That's Defensor's gun. What? Isn't that impressive? It's a real stretch to say, hey, this is a huge combiner's gun. I mean, it's bigger than Devastator's gun, but it just looks like two guns put together. It's, yeah, whatever. So, posability, playability, because of the couple of little torso issues, because some people will complain about this, I'll give it an 8.5. But really, he does everything you'd really want him to do, to be honest with you. So we have a 9.5 for paint apps. We have an 8.5 for posability, playability. This guy is scoring great. He's a 9 so far. But let's look at the most important thing. That's transformation. Oh, before we do that though, here's his collector card. Yay for collector cards. This looks nothing like him. He suffers the same issue as Dead End. This is a black head. He looks bulkier in it. Why? Because it's based on the hotspot that we recently got from the, well, fairly recently got, over the last couple of years, from the Grapple Inferno mold. They painted it blue. They took this hook thing off and put a ladder bucket on. I could see what they went for. I could see how they would use it for hotspot. It kind of makes sense, but the fatal flaw with this guy, and the reason I never got that hotspot, is because this guy he doesn't combine. He looks fine in this mode. He looks great in truck mode, and we will see that in a little bit, but he doesn't combine. When I think of hotspot, this is the guy. This is the guy I think of. This or the Unite Warriors version, and honestly, they both have their ups and downs. Again, the blue is deeper on Unite Warriors with that blue down to center, but that version lacks the paint details up here that I like, and lacks some paint details on the chest of Defensor that I like, and lacks these paint details. So, no, I love this. I think it's great. Let's look at transformation right now. We'll put him in truck, and then finally we'll put him in torso. So how do we put him in truck? You flip down the chest, you flip in the head. You can either leave the chest down, or you can put the chest back up, whatever, that's your call. You take the arms, and you will bring them out, just like this. And you will flip them up, don't worry about fitting all this together just yet, because we need to use this in a few minutes to kind of finish this section. So for now, just lift that up out of the way, just so it's up out of the way. You're not doing anything with it yet, just lift it out of the way. Then we come to the legs. You want to, really I think it's your call. Officially I believe you're supposed to, unpeg those knees again and extend it out ever so slightly, just to give the truck a little extra oomph. If you don't do that, I don't think it matters, to be honest with you. But you turn the legs around so that now they're on the back of his body, so that you have the fire rescue on the outside. And really then you just take the feet and bring them down around the front, and take the feet and bring them down around the front. When you do that, you'll notice there's a little tab right here. There's another tab here. It doesn't go into a hole. This tab goes down under this other tab, just like that. And then you take the legs and you will peg them together like so. So really all you did is turn his legs around and peg them together. You took his shoulders and you put them up over his head after you put his head in his body. Why didn't I peg his shoulders together yet? Well, here's why. Now we need to deal with this bucket thing. Just take these side pieces down for now. You're going to take the bucket up like this, and you're going to flip it all the way back and straighten it out. And you're going to say, hey, that's sticking out a lot there. And so it is. But you see this little black armature? This little black armature has two slots, two holes. And see if I can show this. Up on the shoulders, you will notice two tabs right here. That little black armature is going to go in between those two tabs, and they're going to tab on to hold this all in place. It seems like it would be fiddly to do, but honestly it's not fiddly really to do at all. There you go, they're both in. Now this is facing the right way. You take these pieces that are still down and you just flip them up on the side like so. Now we have his arms down here. All you're going to do is straighten them out behind. When you straighten them out behind, there is a little tab here on the arm, and that's going to go up into a little slot right here by the shoulder and peg in like that. Same over here, there's a little tab on the arm and a little slot on the shoulder, and you bring it up like that, and then you just tab that piece together and straighten them out here a little bit, and boom. Now you have these guns. There's a tab here and a tab here on the side, and yeah, they can go in right here. You can take them and actually I guess this one would be the one to go over here. You can put them in here, but they're gonna like either angle up a bit or angle down a bit. I don't like doing that, so what do I do with them? There are holes up on this black piece, so honestly, for me, I take one and put it in there. I take the other and put it in the other black piece like so, and boom, there you go. That's what I do, and I guess they're hoses, I guess. He rolls, like I said, like a champ. He is kind of long, and there's a big ratchet here. This piece does ratchet up, but I mean, there's the next ratchet from all the way down here. And you can put that forward. This whole piece turns around. He's a weird looking truck. Some people had complained and said, this moves, and yeah, it does, but don't push down on the center of him, I guess would be my advice to you. And he should stay fine and roll just fine. People have asked, why is he blue? Why does he look weird? My understanding is that he's supposed to be an airport fire engine, and those look a little different than a regular fire engine. What I'm going to do is take a second. I'm going to put grapple in truck mode, and we'll just do a quick comparison of these two molds, together there, just so you can just so you can sort of see how they stack up. Remember, the grapple mold was colored blue. It was given a black head, I don't know, but it was the same head, to be honest with you, and it was called Hotspot. Again, like I said, I see what they were going for, but I don't know if it really worked. For the issues that people have with this version, yeah, okay, I guess I can see where you're coming from, but really, you know, I think it's a little bit of nitpicking. I don't, because I don't think that, you know, this is that outlandish. If you look for online pictures of these alternate fire engines, I think you'll see exactly what it is that they were going for. I think you'll say, oh yeah, okay, well, you know, that makes sense. Anyway, I'll be back in just a second with Grapple in his truck mode, and then we will take a closer look at both of them together. So, boom, here we go. And you can see that the Combiner Wars version is certainly longer, but the earlier version is taller and bulkier. I mean, this, you know, you take this off, you color it blue, you put, you know, this sort of a ladder and bucket on this, and yeah, okay, you can see how this would be a fire engine. It's nice, it's bulky, it's a great vehicle. I gave Grapple a good score, but I think it's a bit of a stretch for Hotspot. This is more Hotspot. Even if this fire engine mode is a little bit stylized, where this guy fails is that he will not combine. I said that earlier. He's a great robot, he's a great fire engine, but he won't combine. So that being said, getting into this mode was easy. This was a 10 transformation. All you did was, you know, put his arms up over his head after flipping his head down to his chest, and straighten out his legs and turn them around and peg them together. That's really all you did. This piece here was the most complicated part, and all you really did was twist that around a little bit. So I don't think that anybody, collector or kid, would have any issue with that transformation. Let's go to torso, because that's the last part for this guy. So how do we go to torso? Fair enough. You bring the chest back up, you split the legs down here, you unpeg the arms, and you angle that out. So basically you explode the truck. That's, you know, that's pretty much what you're doing. You take these guns off, and again, I guess we'll here put them together. Yay. Let's start with the shoulders, because that's the easiest thing to do. You bring them all the way down, and when you bring them all the way down, you twist them as if you were going to put him in robot mode. You bring the arms back down, again as if you were going to put them in robot mode, but now you're going to peg them up on the shoulders. On this shoulder over here, you have a peg here and a peg here. See if I can show it. A peg here and a peg here. And you have a slot in the arm here and a slot here. That's what you need to lock in. Oh, and on this arm in particular, you have a third connection point with this little peg here and this little hole up here. So if you line all of that up, you should be able to get it in no problem. And really what you're using is the elbow and the joint up in the bicep that gives it such a deep elbow band. It's kind of like a double elbow. And can I get this in? Oh, there. I never had his arm all the way down. So there, that's in. Over on this side, you have a peg up here, you have a peg right here, you have a hole here, and you have a hole here. And same thing, we bring it up and bring it in. That's it, that's the shoulders for Defensor done. Next, you're going to want to deal with the legs. So you bring the feet back up again as if you were putting them in robot mode. Feet back up as if you were putting them in robot mode. Do not fix the knees. Instead, turn the legs to the side. Turn the legs to the side. When you turn the legs to the side, you don't want this piece with the silver and red facing the front of the body. You want it facing the back of the body. And you're going to bring them up. When you bring them up, there's a little nub right here on the leg and a little slot in right here. That little slot is going to go over the nub and lock the thigh in place, or it should go over that nub and lock the thigh in place, just like that. On this side you do the same thing. You have, you know, a nub up here, you have a little slot right here, and it goes up over. On my copy of the mold, this one locks in perfect. This one, not so much. I tried heating this plastic, I tried squeezing this plastic, I tried freezing this plastic, everything to change the shape of it to have it lock in better. It just won't. I don't think it's a problem with the mold. I think it's just my version. Next, we open out the sides of the armature for the bucket and the ladder. We bring it down on that black arm again, just like so. And when we bring it down all the way, we tab it in. There's a little slot right here that tabs over the shoulder, and a little slot here that tabs over the shoulder. Now, this chest piece is like a soft rubbery plastic, so if you end up moving the shoulder, you're going to knock it at a place just like that. That's the shoulder issue I was talking about. But I mean, it's only a matter of putting the shoulder back down, tabbing that back in. It's only a chest piece. It's no big deal. You'll notice I still have the legs kind of splayed apart here because you bring the armature down on the front. You take the ladder piece and bring it through the legs, and you bring and the ladder piece cracks right here. You see I guess a pin. It cracks right there to come up over the back of hotspot, like so. And then the bucket comes down. When the bucket comes down, there are two little tabs right here that they don't so much lock, they kind of guide into two little holes right here at the top of the body. And they will go in like that. They kind of lock, but they won't really stay perfectly. You flip down this side and you flip down that side, and then you flip up the top of the bucket, because the bucket is like split in half, right? The bucket is split in half. You flip it up and you turn it around. I mean, really what you're flipping up is the top of Defensor's head. Just like so. Just like so. And last but not least, you want to just bring the legs down a little bit, and there you go. Torso. The torso is a little tricky because of that you know, ladder armature. I'm going to give the torso transformation a 9. Actually, I'm going to give it an 8. I'm going to give it an 8. From robot to vehicle is a 10. From, you know, robot or vehicle, I guess, in the torso, because of having to flip this whole piece around, I'm going to give it an 8. Collectors, adults, they're not going to have any problem with that. Kids might get a little bit frustrated just figuring out how that wraps down around. That's why I'm giving it an 8. So overall, when you average that out, his transformation is a 9. I already said his paint apps were 9.5. I said his postability, playability was 8.5. Sorry for that cough. Still battling that flu a little bit. I said 8.5 because of this thigh not quite locking in, and these coming off a little bit, and the head not quite coming, not quite staying tabbed in. But still, you take an 8.5, a 9.5, and a 9, you average them out, you're getting a 9. Ooh, you're getting a 9. This guy is a 9. He's a great torso, he's a great figure, he's fun to play with. I think you'll really enjoy him. So now that we have the torso made, the next video we can move into will be the combined video. And I will see you next time when we take a look at Defensor Combined.